Hey, Steven, long time, man. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Hope everybody's staying safe. Of
Yeah, indeed. No, look, thank you for your time. It's been a
course.
while, and we are here today to talk about Fortinet's SD-WAN momentum, some great innovations that we have continued to develop. And I thought you, being a solution architect, meeting several customers, and
Mhm.
I'm staying at the product side, I think it would be great to do a quick recap and learn some new things that you're seeing from the customers.
Yeah, very
Right.
exciting time. Very exciting time to be engaged with SD-WAN and WAN Edge Transformation.
Awesome. No, look, I remember a few years back when Fortinet announced Secure SD-WAN platform, right? One of the most comprehensive platform where not only we can provide the advanced routing, but also has inbuilt SD-WAN, inbuilt next generation firewall, and this is all organically developed by us. Today, we have thousands of customers globally deploying SD-WAN and seeing the WAN edge transformation. Now, I know that you talk to many customers, and we have won some very large global WAN customers with a complex architecture. So, do you still see the consolidation trend of point products merging to a secure SD-WAN and any other thing that coming up a lot?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have numerous customers, and I think even more so today than it was, when we started a couple years ago and introduced Secure SD-WAN. I think it was still, a very pure play SD-WAN field or industry. And as those 2 years have passed, I think with our growth, we've kind of demonstrated to the market. Customers are looking for more than just SD-WAN in their transformation. They're looking for consolidation, cutting costs on vendors, number of solutions, transitioning from one particular transport to another. Lots of different opportunities to cut costs or save costs. But a big focus, especially in the last 12 to 18 months, on consolidating not just the WAN edge, but really consolidating the solutions that would encompass the WAN edge. So when you talk about things like SD-WAN, NGFW, when you look at web filtering, IIPS, all those types of advanced security features at the edge, in addition to other things, pulling those together in one solution is a big benefit to our customers and to those customers out there who are looking for that, because it does kind of help them along in their journey of simplifying the WAN edge and making it work better for their organizations, as opposed to working harder to make the WAN edge work for them. But ultimately, we've seen in the past year explosive growth on our end, especially with some of our larger customers. I like to point out Rollins when we talk about waste management, two of our very public use cases that we've been advertising. But these organizations really embody what it means to simplify at the WAN edge, not only from a solutions perspective, but especially on the visibility side. One of the requirements that they came to us with was, hey, we don't really feel like we have visibility of what's going on at the WAN edge, so we need to be able to grasp that. We need to have control over our WAN edge so that we're dictating how things should work versus letting someone else do that for us. And in their cases, they were able to transition some WAN transports over to something that was more beneficial for them, being able to go from a traditional MPLS to maybe public wire and even LTE in some instances, but being able to really relegate the WAN edge so that everything is protecting application performance and availability, really driving SaaS adoption, and being able to ensure that all those applications that they are using work not only all the time, but they meet those performance requirements dictated by the business. And so the better thing that we've been seeing over the past few months, though, is that the service provider industry, and so one of the big changes I've seen in probably 8 months is the service providers are starting to see some of that consolidation as well. And so really driving, back into our neighborhood from their customers, saying the same things that we're hearing from customers. Hey, we want more at the WAN edge than just an SD-WAN replacement. We want SD-WAN and security. And oh, by the way, we want the ability to grow that without doing another forklift replacement. So when we talk about SD branch, our SPs service providers are even hearing the same thing. So I wanted to ask you a question. What have you been hearing from our service providers, and how have they been partnering with us to really drive advancement in their SD-WAN or WAN Edge offerings?
No, I think you're right. The service provider SD-WAN momentum has been really great for Fortinet. If I just see last few months, we announced over 15 service providers or MSSP globally or offered Fortinet Secure SD-WAN. And really it's because of what you described. It's a solution where we are not just thinking from a single point, single product. It's security, SD-WAN, a branch transformation. But even today, when customers are working from home, they are able to deploy it there. So providing that level of SD-WAN with security and a flexibility is a big thing for a service provider. I remember just a few months back, right? Entity West in Japan offered Fortinet's SD-WAN. Similarly, we saw Spark in New Zealand, Orange in Europe, and that just continues to expand globally. So really excited to see how service providers are leveraging Fortinet Secure SD-WAN. But also it was great, Stephen, that recently Fortinet SD-WAN achieved MEF certification. They, as a governing body, work closely with service provider to define an SD-WAN standard, and Fortinet has that certification. So good to see that both from an enterprise and service provider side, we have a great momentum going. But Stephen, the way you talked about the consolidation piece, I also see the orchestration and automation is a big theme.
Yeah.
Because as customers are migrating from those point product to a single solution, there is more required to significantly simplify those deployment, but also create automation such that it enables the zero-touch provisioning and simplify the workflows. And I know a few months back, again, as we continue to innovate, we have added some great functionality in our orchestration. So what are some of those capabilities that you are excited about or you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, we continue to improve all of those core advantages that we already have. We talk about customers and zero touch deployment and provisioning. So really being able to leverage not only our solution, but our services as well, rolling out 50 plus sites a week, being able to really drive a very low touch experience, being able to integrate all those features into one consolidated platform. And now we're adding on to it. And so with SD-WAN Orchestrator, like you said, really driving the whole orchestration from one single UI. And so what we've done is we've taken our existing platform, kind of packaged up all those capabilities from, really managing the overlay, creating it, all the automation behind it. We've added in business rules so that all these things can be kind of up-leveled into one UI, driving the experience from provisioning all the way through operations with very little engagement. And so being able to leverage the organizations and their capabilities, whether they're new to Fortinet or they've been a longtime Fortinet customer, our SD-WAN orchestrators really kind of bring these things in, not only on the configuration and the overlay side, but also on the management and the analytics, being able to provide those management utilities as well as analytics dashboards and reports, all from SD-WAN Orchestrator. So it's a big new innovation that we're touting, being able to really pull together things, simplify, as you mentioned, for our customers who are leveraging SD-WAN and security at the edge.
Yeah, no, so I think you very well captured that, right? Giving customers savings in front of simplification is a huge thing. I remember talking to one of the customers, they mentioned that by moving to a simplified management, they almost save 90% of cost because they're seeing the less number of tickets. It's easier for them to troubleshoot. And even roll-ins, right? You mentioned recently that one of the customer where they actually use automation with Ansible to further simplify that. So great to see all of those integration in orchestration. But there's also an interesting trend that I'm seeing where SD-WAN is now moving more towards self-healing WAN, right? And this is something which we have been organically developing for the last 5 years, right? Very sophisticated way of doing a dynamic path selection, giving the granularity on application transaction so that we can improve the overall user experience for customers using the self-healing automated WAN. And I know, again, as you talk to several of our customers, what are you seeing in the self-healing WAN?
I love marketing and analysts. They come up with the best terms. Self-healing WAN. So when I talk with our customers, what does self-healing WAN mean to you? It means that they can stay at lunch without having to drop everything and come back to the office to fix a performance issue, with being able to leverage what SD-WAN is supposed to do and be able to add the security on top of that. So if they are going to SaaS and there is some sort of exploit or some sort of malware download, everything's taken care of. And so self-healing from an application performance perspective, if we're not meeting those thresholds on one particular path, I want to move it to another path that will allow it to meet those thresholds. And I want it to do it all by itself. Self-healing, put a Band-Aid on it all by yourself. Don't interrupt my lunch. Don't call me at midnight. I just want everything to work. And that's what our customers are saying. And as you mentioned, we've been providing that capability for quite some time. Our active path measurement really drives the performance metrics, allowing us to see with incredible granularity when there's a particular outage that's occurring. And then we can just move those particular applications, those sessions or those packets, depending on how you're configured, over to another path. And that way we protect the performance of those applications, allowing them to work as expected by the users, which, by the way, is incredibly important today as we see more users working from home, having typically more bandwidth than they would in a legacy network environment at their work location. And so that brings up another discussion, especially with Rollins, where Rollins was able to expand beyond the edge at the office. And so the branch office was great, but Rollins really wanted to drive the same sort of policy from their clients. And so they were able to do that by extending their security fabric using EMS and FortiClient and CASB. So now they have visibility into the SaaS applications. They have visibility from the client, and they're enforcing the same sort of web security policy across clients, regardless if they're on premises or off net, like their home users are today.
Yeah, very well captured. And on the self-healing, I even like that recently when we enhance our dynamic bandwidth compute, we can now, right, ISPs can be providing bandwidth, and we often know that's not the real bandwidth we get, but our ability to dynamically identify the bandwidth and then enforce the policy change is a great way to improve the overall self-healing WAN experience. So no, thank you for that education. But you as you touched upon the CASB and the cloud SaaS application, that reminds me that there is a lot of interest for a lot of our customers to become a cloud first use case, right? And in that scenario, the cloud on-ramp is a critical component where from branch or from even home, as you are getting connected to multi-cloud SaaS application, how can we continue to improve the user experience and also automate all of those different multi-cloud operations? So I want to hear from you the innovations that we have done on cloud on-ramp, and I'm sure there's some great customers' stories that you also heard there.
Yeah, no, we continue to innovate here and being able to pull in our partners. And of course, we've had the ability to put a FortiGate into, the major cloud service providers for quite some time. And so being able to put a FortiGate, a virtual FortiGate into, AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, driving access both into SaaS and IaaS environments, as well as partnering with some other organizations like an Equinix. Equinix already has acceleration into many of those same service providers, as well as SaaS. And so easily adding a FortiGate into the network edge at Equinix, drawing that into your existing overlay network is a click, click, click. Being able to really take advantage of the potential acceleration that you get from an Equinix, getting into there quickly because of their broad distribution, and then being able to leverage their own backbone for all those SaaS applications is a really big advantage and a huge opportunity for us to allow our customers to cut down on some of that middle mile unreliability and give that on-ramp to many of the applications and public cloud environments that they're adopting today.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I was recently talking to one of the customer in UK, and they said that not only they are deploying the FortiGate VM on Azure, but they're also using our deeper integration with Azure Virtual WAN. So they can now have that backbone, and it is simple way for them to use. And we are going to continue to do similar integration with every multi-cloud out there to provide them that simple automation and deeper integration to that. So great to know how you are seeing it and it is resonating with customers. Mm-hmm. But look, no, this is great, Stephen. I think to recap, I just want to say we are in a very unique position where at one side, Fortinet continues to develop purpose-built ASIC that customers deploy at the branch or even using at the home so that they get the best performance, best user experience. They can enable SD-WAN or they can enable SD branch or even have the complete security and segmentation. On the same side, on the cloud, we continue to innovate, right? We understand there are customers who need a flexible way of deploying it. So as you described, we have a huge innovation on the cloud side. And when we look at both ASIC and cloud together, and then our ability to manage through a single pane of glass, orchestrating all of those in a single way with intuitive workflow is a way to go forward. And great to see our investment is paying out and great adoption from enterprise customers as well as service providers. So I just want to say thank you for the time and hope to see you soon in office. And thank you.
Yeah, right. So hopefully we'll get past this and we can all kind of see each other's face again in person. So take care, Nirav. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Stephen. Bye.
Bye.